Hey everyone, John here from All Miniatures Great and Small. Today we're going to be doing a first look and an unboxing of Clash of Steel, a tabletop tank battle game from Gale Force 9 and Battlefront Miniatures. So I'm pretty excited about this release, and Gale Force 9 was kind enough to send me a early review copy, and I just got it today, and I'm like, okay, I need to film. I want to check this out. So what is Clash of Steel? Is it like Flames of War? Is it a whole new thing? Is it like their tanks game that Gale Force 9 has? Well, it's kind of, from at least the early looks, kind of a light Flames of War with just tanks. And as we get into it, we'll find out much more. But that's kind of the gist of it. And I think it's very cool. Now, the setting for this is 1948. We'll get into that more. So it's post-World War II. It's a hypothetical battle. So not only do you have late World War II tanks, you're going to have hypothetical tanks and tanks that didn't quite make it into World War II. So that adds to some of the excitement. Some people might not like that, but hey, those guys can stick with the Flames of War, and this game can be, I'm hoping this will be a good introductory game to the hobby of historical 15mm gaming. And I think it is. Okay, Clash of Steel. I've got the American and Soviet starter box. There's also another one which has British and Germans. That's the 4 factions in the game. This has, I'll just read here, an American force and a Soviet force. It has 21 plastic model tanks, tank commanders, decals, a complete rulebook, dice, unit cards, tokens, objective markers, victory point dials, tactics cards, mission setup cards, mission rule cards, and 22 objective cards. Tank-wise, it has, for the Americans, 2 T-28s, which are some of my favorite tanks, or tank destroyers. They just look awesome. 3 T-29s, which are an American heavy tank, and 2 M18 Hellcats, kind of a head-scratching addition to this box, but cool nonetheless. I love the Hellcat. And in the Soviet force, we have 6 T-54-1s, 3 IS-3s, and 5 ISU-130s. So those, you have almost twice. No, you have exactly twice the number of Soviet tanks to the American tanks. So obviously the Soviets are going to be kind of a horde army, which is their traditional role in most of Battlefront's games. Okay, let's go ahead and open this up. I love opening up new games. And lots and lots of plastic. All right, let's reorient and take a closer look at the box, shall we? Hey everyone, I also wanted to mention that our Patreon is being updated. So we are expanding the Patreon, which normally just covered Flames of War, to also include Team Yankee. So every month we're going to have a Flames of War or Team Yankee battle report that's going to be on there. Also for YouTube members, we're going to be having access to early videos and exclusive videos for them. We are going to be covering this game. Depending on the reception of this game, I don't know if it's going to make it to the Patreon or just stay on YouTube, but we'll see what happens. Okay, back to the review. Here are the contents. All right, let's take a look. We'll just kind of lift this out one at a time and see what we got. So first are a couple of Hellcat frames. So these are Battlefront Miniatures 2021 sculpts. So pretty recent models. I think I have a box of these that I haven't assembled yet, because I have a complete set of the classic metal and resin models from Battlefront that I just love. I love those models. Okay, so we got Hellcats. Let's try to see what we got here. All right, so we got 3 of these frames. These are the IS-3s. we're going to take a closer look at these frames in a minute. But that is a 2023 sculpt, so these are brand new. We got 3 of those bad boys. We have these look like IS-2 or so these are the treads in the bottom hull for Soviets. Then, interesting in different plastic, we have a different color. We have 2017. These are the T50, T55 AM2s? I don't know. We'll take a look at these a little bit closer. Oh, there's another one. We got a bunch of those. Then we have the tops. These are to make the ISU 130s. So that's the top. It takes 2 of these frames to build that. Perhaps the tank I'm most excited about, this is going to be the T-28 American tank destroyer. Then we have the American Heavy, the T-29. We get 3 of those. This is also a 2023 sculpt. So we're getting lots of new models in here. Then we've got these will get us our T-44 and T-54-1s. Okay. Interesting. And we've got these look like little caps for some dials or something. Tank crews, which you can never have enough. Dice, these will be consigned to the dice bin, but you know, if you're a new player, you need dice, they come with dice. That's a nice touch. Then we have kind of a wrapped box. We'll get to that in a second. And here we have advertisement and decals. American, German, and Soviet. I guess no British. I guess those are American and British. They'll use the stars, so Allied. Okay, then let's take a look here. Oh, look at that. We've got some damage. Doesn't look like anything too bad, but let's take a closer look and assess, shall we? So we have the core rules, and that is pretty well gouged up there. Of course, this is just a single fold out with the core rules, movement, shooting, ending step. Very cool. So we're going to do a separate video going over gameplay and rules for this game later. Then we have, some of that must be like the getting started rulebook. So the fact that it's torn up is not that big a deal. I mean, it's still kind of a packing issue, but here's the official rulebook, or the full-size rulebook, I should say. Battlefront always has a really nice product as far as presentation of their rules. They've always done a great job with full color, all kinds of stuff. So again, we'll take a closer look at that. Then we have American Forces. So this is some fluff. And then, so this is like your intelligence briefing, or you know, what you want to, how you can build your army, what units they offer, things like that. So we already kind of knew that these were coming because on the Gale Force 9, they are already, I think, pre-ordering these boxes. For example, not only the cool stuff you get here, but the Super Pershing, Easy 8s, Chaffies, Jacksons, Hellcats. They're all here, which is cool. I guess maybe you can build the T-29 as the T-29 or the T-30. Very cool. Okay, so you got that. Then you have the Soviet forces with their fluff. Some of the stuff that's coming out for them. Very nice. We have the assembly guide. The T-29, the T-28, the Hellcat, the Soviet one, the IS-3, the T-44 and T-54, and the ISU. And then we've got some counters that are already kind of falling out, but hey, that's fine. We're not missing anything. I don't know if these are objectives, destroyed markers, unit leader, victory points. I bet that's what these dials are for. Then we have unit cards, both Soviet and American, mission rules, enemy plans, tactics, and these look like missions. So all of these look well packed and no damage. So the only damage was to the, basically the quick start guide. So not bad, not bad. All right, let's take a closer look at some of these model frames, shall we? All right, the first thing we're going to look a little bit closer at is the T-44, T-54 frame. So it comes with, and this was why I was a little confused, this is the T-55 frame from Team Yankee and other releases. So you could build a T-50, a T-55 from this. But then it comes with the upgrade sprue, basically, or in this case, I guess you'd call it a downgrade sprue that has the turrets and little doodads to convert this to the appropriate tank. The T-55 kit is really nice. If you've played Team Yankee or you play Soviets or Warsaw Pact, you've probably built, at least 10 of those or more. This is the upgrade frame to go to the T-44 or the T-54. Okay. Let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is the IS-3 sprue. It's cool that we get these tanks. I'm not maybe the biggest fan of these designs. They're kind of this interim, the turrets look very squished, which aesthetically just doesn't do it for me, but I'm still looking forward to assembling them and painting them. But this is a brand new kit. This is 2023. We see some of that tasty hull detail and all that. It's very nice. Track detail. I'm not going to go through everything, just the newer models here. Give you an idea. And if you've never seen one of my unboxings or reviews, I also like to build a couple of these so you can get a kind of an idea of what it looks like built, and I can give you my opinion on the build process. So this is the T-29, which it looks like you can also build it as the T-30. It has, looks like, progressively larger barrels. the massive turret on that. It's just crazy. Yeah, looks pretty good. All right, and then we've got perhaps the one I'm most excited about, the T-28. Which is huge as well. The history of this is really cool. It's got basically 4 sets of tracks. And you can kind of see they molded them together. But the idea was you can actually remove this outer set of tracks so that this thing could fit on a rail car, and you could actually haul the second set of tracks behind the tank. But you can see like the treads are double wide. Yeah, I'm definitely going to build this one first. Okay, let's go ahead and build some and show you what they look like. Assembly is completed. Well, I didn't build the whole box, but I built one of each tank. I was originally just going to build a couple of tanks, but I got carried away because I like building Battlefront models. I think they are, on the whole, great kits, great little kits, and there's something relaxing about assembling them. They're not too hard, and you get in the groove once you start, which is nice. All right. So again, this box has 6 different types of tanks. Well, really 7. I'll get to that in a second. The 3 American ones are the T-28. So assembly for this guy was fairly straightforward. He was probably the most complicated, and that's because it had, these tracks are so wide, it had a couple of pieces that kind of hold with tabs. If you build it, you'll understand. The instructions are fine and straightforward. You just have to be careful fitting those in because, again, those tracks are so wide. But I love this tank. This is one of my favorite tanks of all time. And it just looks great. Stats-wise in game, I'm not sure how it will perform with just one shot, but you know, that's a pretty beefy one shot. All right, so that's that one. Then we have the littlest tank in the game. This is a Hellcat, a U.S. tank destroyer. This kit is fairly straightforward to build. It does have some fiddly rails on the turret, but there are some placing holes, so it makes it pretty easy to figure out where everything goes. Tolerances on all of these kits are pretty tight, so be sure to either sand or cut the little nubs from the frame off, or else you will have some fit issues with these tanks. But yeah, Hellcat with its 76mm gun, pretty cool. Now, this is I built this as the T30 with the bigger gun. You could build these either way. You could build it as the T29 or the T30. Now, it looks like it does have a barrel for the T34, but there's no stats, no cards, no mention of it. But I guess they're future-proofing that frame. This one was real easy to put together. It's a good-looking tank. If you played World of Tanks on the American Tank Tree, this tank is pretty familiar. My only disappointment is that the T29 doesn't have the ears on the turret. And it's one of my favorite looks on that tank and why I prefer the T29 over the T30. But these models don't have it, which is accurate. They did T29s both ways. But I just liked the look of the T29 with the box ears. But overall, the tank looks really cool. I mean, it's huge. Look at that big honking barrel. And you get 3 of these in the box, which is nice. You get 2 of these, and 3 of these for a total of 7 American tanks. All right, on the Soviet side, we'll start with the ISU 170. This is just the ISU kit that they've already had for a while. So it actually has barrels for the 122 and the what is it? The 122 and the one whatever. But anyway, the 152. That's what it is. So you could build it either way, and I built a lot of these for my Soviet list for Flames of War. This is the larger 130 millimeter barrel, giving it its name, the ISU 130. So it's got a pretty, you know, a pretty scary gun on it for sure. Overall, this kit's really easy. Usually the hull-mounted tank destroyer type models are easier to assemble. You know, you don't have to worry about a separate turret, but overall, no problems here. And lots of nice detail. I don't know if you saw that on the frame. Even though this is a somewhat older kit, it's still a really nice one. Then we've got, let's pull this forward. So you can build this kit two ways, and it has enough parts so you could have it either way and swap them out as you need it. So this right here is the T54-1, and it's actually on a T55 kit, which is pretty cool. And it's got a, you know, that kind of goofy shaped turret, but not bad. It is basically the T55 kit with some different pieces. The front armor piece is different. The turret obviously is completely different, but otherwise it's pretty much the same kit. Or you can swap it out and put this turret on there. And now you have a T44, which is not quite as good. This still has the 85 millimeter gun that you'll find on the what is it, the T34-85, but it's much better armored than a T34-85. In the game, it's front armor 10 instead of front armor 6 for, so it's almost double. But really nice props to Battlefront again for giving us the option so we could run these tanks either way, which is nice. And point out, you do get 6 of these. And also, just I want to mention again the amazing savings on those. If you were to buy a box of T55s for Team Yankee, it costs about $50. 45, $50 depending on where you are. This starter set's $75, and you get, basically, you could build them as T55s for Team Yankee, but you get 6 of these bad boys. You get 5 of these, which is, again, that's a full-size box for Flames of War. You know, if you're going ISU 122 or 52, you know, that's like $45, I think. I forget if it's 45 or 50, but so really, yeah, so you get 5 of those, you get 6 of these bad boys, and then the last tank for the Soviets is this guy. We have the IS-3. So this is the evolution of the IS-2, starting to get more curved armor. You've got that really distinctive IS-3 turret. I modeled it with the hatch open. I like my command tanks to have commanders sticking out of them, but I haven't glued those in yet. This kit was also real easy to put together. You get 3 of these in the box. These have front armor 14, which I think is the best front armor the Soviets have. And again, a nice looking tank. You get 3. You only get 3 of these, but you know, for the best tank on the Soviet side, that makes sense. And you got some cannon fodder. You know, these guys and your ISU 30s are going to plunk away at range, and then your T-54s or T-44s are going to be your gunfighters, get in close range, take objectives and stuff like that. At least that's how I foresee it. All right, so that is a look at all of the models built from the set. Overall, Battlefront, great job. I'm excited to get some paint on these guys. The only, here's if I have to have a criticism here, the only thing is the molding of the plastic. These guys are essentially the same, but you know, if you wanted to play out of the box without painting, it would be nice if this guy was World War II green, rather than, you know, that looks more like that than otherwise. But That's just a minor nitpick because, yeah, I'm going to paint mine anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But for those who like to just play with the plastic, you know, you're learning the game, that is something to keep in mind. All right, so there you go. Let's continue with this review. All right, guys, so that's a look at the American and Soviet starter box set. Eventually, I will be getting the British and German one, so we'll be taking a look at that one as well. And like I said, there's going to be additional videos that go into depth as far as gameplay, construction of the models, talking about those cool new tanks. But to conclude this video, just talk about whether this is worth it. Well, on first inspection, if you like the time period, if you're willing to accept hypothetical 1948 combat, there's a lot to like on this kit. Unlike some other miniature companies that I won't name, these starter sets are shockingly affordable. This is only $75 US, and that is amazing. You get 21 models, so that's, you know, huge. That's a little over $3 a model, not a ton. And then you get the complete set of rules, you get the cards, you get the die, you get everything you need to play. And you know, if you buy it from online retailers, you might be able to even find it cheaper than $75. So that's really great. And it also looks like you can play this without the futuristic, super heavy tanks. You could just use late World War II and call it late World War II, use the same rule set and just play with stuff that was historical to 1945. And, you know, you purists could be happy as well. But as a strictly tank-on-tank battle game, at first glance, it looks pretty promising. Looks like it's got a lot of the core mechanics of Flames of War, which is a great pedigree to have, and it should be good. All right, there you go, guys. I appreciate you watching, sticking with me throughout this video. Again, check out our Patreon if you like Flames of War Team Yankee. As always, thanks for watching, and keep on gaming.